Yeah, so now I understand that, Giant.
All right.
150.
So I'm gonna be in co-host producer mode. So if you see when I look like I'm looking up at the ceiling, because I'm looking up at the screen on the wall, because that's where I can see the all the prompts and everything, and using my mouse to all that other stuff we do.
Mm-hmm.
Are you good? Good. It ain't too early for a midday cocktail, is it? Gin and tonic? No? Okay. It ain't tequila. It's not tequila. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Can't drink right now.
Fair enough. I'm not supposed to either. But yeah, this is what we're doing. You're listening to the Hot Seed Podcast.
Seed.
Welcome all. I'm Sean, along with my co-host Earl.
Yerp.
Dave.
Yes, sir.
And you guys know what it is. We're just Dash with mics, gamers with headsets, and a whole lot of unfiltered conversation. As always, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seed Podcast. Be sure to listen, like, rate, review, share, and most importantly, enjoy on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your favorite shows. And if you're watching on YouTube, you might as well go ahead and subscribe since you're already here. So go ahead and the Hot Seed Podcast as well, man. Gentlemen, welcome back. Episode 147. A little delayed, overdue, but we back in full form. How we doing, guys? How's our Mother's Days? I ain't seen you in like a good 2 weeks,
Damn, it's been that long?
Yeah, pretty much. It's been about 2 weeks, right?
Sheesh.
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
Mother's Day passed by because the missus ain't here. So pretty much just the chill time, catching up on things here at the house, but nothing big going on. How about y'all?
Yeah, Mother's Day, like I said, it came and went. She told me she said, don't nobody talk to her on that day. I said, all right, say less.
I don't even know what that means.
Hey. I said, all right. Hey, that's what you want. Granted. Give granted. Yeah, it was raining and shit. Gave her an iPad.
Yeah.
Kept it moving. Bought her something to eat. Kept it moving.
Fair enough.
My energy in Mother's Day is I'm lucky I did all of that shit because I just know it's not going to be reciprocated.
Oh man, don't do it. Don't do it.
Nah, I'm in my petty bag. I'm sorry. I'm petty Tendergrass today. Fuck that shit.
Okay, Kendrick, we'll get there soon.
Because they not like us, bro.
Oh my god. Oh man. It's legit been 2 weeks since we recorded. Yeah, about 2 weeks, man. And I can tell you, your boy is burnt out. Of course, I was traveling for work. I was in Canada. I was up in the other part of Canada, not Toronto, not even Montreal. I was out in Edmonton. It's like the countryside. Like
Have you been there before?
Not to Edmonton, I hadn't. I've been to Toronto.
I mean, but you, okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. So, and Toronto kind of feels like New York. It's kind of how, it's like, it's right there. It's right there. But Edmonton was dope for the week. For those who have been following the podcast, I am a fan of poutine, or they would say Putin.
Bro, as you said.
Never mind. Me too.
I was to say, aren't we all?
Yes. Yes.
Me too, sir. I concur.
Yeah. 5 days up there. And each one of my dinner meals was poutine, man. So I had I have 4 different types of poutine, and I at 5 places.
I want to say something so bad, and I'm just trying to keep.
You gotta broaden your horizons.
That's it, man.
Yeah, you did. You know what I'm saying?
Discriminate.
Yeah, absolutely. Equal opportunity.
What is poutine?
Well, it's really just fries. It's fries with a brown gravy, typically cheese curds, and then other stuff like that. But there is just like any like dish like that. There's everybody has their take on it. What it is
it's like potato salad for black folks.
It's a Canadian soul food. Think about the one.
No, I mean like there's if you go to somebody's house, they're gonna make it a certain way. Like it's a different variation.
Because you should only make potato salad one damn way.
But some people use relish, some people don't,
Now that ain't comforting. What's a good comfort food? Like something that a comfort food, like you just it's almost like, hey, this is what we're gonna eat tonight. It ain't a whole much to it, and just I guess the closest thing to that would be what?
Spaghetti?
No, that ain't really a comfort food though. Like maybe a goulash, maybe something. It's something
Who
hard.
The fuck eat goulash?
This guy said goulash.
What the fuck is it? Dog, that's your light skin side coming in.
I don't know
who the fuck eats.
Man said
what the fuck
goulash.
Is a goulash?
Different people, they call it different things. So I think on Hispanic side they call it something else.
What's goulash?
It's all that shit is ground beef, tomato sauce, macaroni noodles, how they do it there. So it's kind of like
that sounds like spaghetti.
It does, right? But it's like, growing up, I don't know, man. So I don't know. I don't know. But in any case, man, like the poutine is really just fries with like a brown gravy, cheese curds, different things like that. But the ones I had one that had a beef brisket with it, which was smack. The other one I had was a buffalo chicken poutine. Had buffalo chicken. It had a kick to it. It had jalapenos and all this other stuff. One of them, one of them had, instead of brown gravy, it had a chicken gravy on it. And that's the one that had the pork belly with it.
Okay.
Bro, I was so fat. I was so fat. They was like, "You want the small or large one?" I like, yeah. Let me go ahead and get that large one. You know what I'm saying, Paul? And it was great. Every time we was there with my Canadian friends, and it was like, "Sean, we know what you ordered. There you go." Add a nice little beer to it. It was smack. So that's what I ate all week, man. Travel back, and it's going into the weekend of my birthday, and I guess the second part celebration. Appreciate it. 44 is my ass. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You 50?
44. I'm damn near close. Party with my brothers out in DC, and that was that shit was a moment, to say the least. Shout out to my brother Said and Step, man. We went to Barcode Park.
Bar. Okay.
Yeah, and the park. I had never been to the park before.
Park is honestly, park is only cool right now for like brunch and shit. Like, because when I went there, I went there like years ago. Like, you want to say like 10. This was when I think when park was kind of like the thing out there in DC. This was after, what was that? Love and H2O. Okay. Remember when Love and them had they shit, and then it was like Fur and what's the shit around the corner, but whatever. Park was just wall to wall. Like, you couldn't even move in that motherfucker.
That's how it still was, bro. That's how it still was.
I'm like, I'm at the age and I ain't got time. Like, if I'm going out, if I'm going to a club, I need to get a table or something. I prefer not, but I could do, like, I'm not about to sit up here and fight to get to the bar and spend $30 for a drink, a watered down drink.
So I'm gonna tell you something about having the benefit of having a brother, and even though he's my younger brother, he is the size of an offensive lineman. He's huge. So we go out there and we go into the club, and he's wearing all black, all black. He got the black polo on. He got black Nike boots on. So he looked like he's ready for whatever might happen that night. Said got, his black on, but he got his fedora on. I had on all black, fancy shoes, stuff like that.
Y'all stayed out there?
Yeah. We went to Barcode first because they got a table for me tonight, celebrating, also going into the wedding and whatnot. So this was like the second bachelor, engagement thing we had. And then from Barcode, which wasn't really popping like that, to the park, we walk in, we get through there, it's wall to wall. We get there. So I'm walking behind them because it's just the way we just happen to go in there. So I walk in there. So I could tell that I don't know who the people thought we were or who I was, but like as he walked through, my person was moving to the side, going this way. And at one part, it was so many people in there. I don't know who security person I stole. And I apologize, but shout out to his brother. Because he saw me with my brother in there. And he was like, "Hey, either that's you?" I said, "Yeah, that's my brother's." He's like, "All right." That man had the earpiece in his ear. And he said, well, to stay with me right here. I don't know who he was with, but I was with him for the whole night. And I was like, yo, I peeped it. I had eyes on everything. I'm like, I don't know. But it was, like you said, wall to wall, Earl. It was a table of like 15 girls, and they were doing this thing where they didn't really move it, but it had the phone in the hand. It was a lot happening. Of course, Kendrick was blasting through there, but yeah, it literally was shoulder to shoulder.
So DC went crazy for Kendrick.
They went fucking crazy.
What about Drake? Did they play Drake?
They didn't play a Drake song.
Yeah.
Not at least not on the floor we was on, because the park is three floors. They did not play, and they had it going, bro. They had it going. So it was dope, man. And then like Mother's Day, hung out with the missus, my mother-in-law, and had a good day. They enjoyed it. And then birthday, played golf, and 44 hit me. Woke up the next day.
Your back was hurting one.
Nah, man, my knee, my left knee is killing me, man. That's why
you don't wear a knee brace?
I never had to. And I didn't remember stepping wrong, but the next day I go and I'm walking through the airport and I couldn't put weight on my knee. So I'm like, oh, I don't like this at all. It's swelling up. And it comes off the best day of golf I've had in years. Best day of golf I've had. Shoot? That day on the front, we only did 9 holes. And again, I only shot 57. But that's kind of bad. But that's considering I had 4 pars that day, legit pars that day.
You said, listen, it's supposed to be the best that you did.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. So
is there a such thing as like a perfect game in golf?
If you shoot under typically if you shoot like below a 60, you went bananas that day.
So below a 60 meaning you're every hole under par, I'm assuming.
No, I said damn near every hole. You got a birdie. Damn near.
Oh, you said was that two? Was that two?
At least
shots?
one. They one shot under.
Let's not do this with him right now.
Nah, I know a little bit about golf. Yeah, this is not. This man
said 2 shots. We're not doing this right now.
I don't know. I don't know. I know a bird. Isn't birdie is 1 shot under par?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's 2 shots under par? Or that's a hole in. Eagle. And then after that, it's a hole in 1.
If you do an ace,
depending on
how they do it.
All right. So pretty much a perfect game. You consider that any shots like all shots under par?
Birdie every hole.
Okay.
If you birdie every hole, that would be a perfect. That would be a perfect game in my opinion.
So that'd be equivalent of like a 300 in bowling.
Yeah, but doing that in golf. So you will get a 300 in golf before you get a perfect day.
You mean 300 in bowling?
Yeah. Oh, no, you get a 300 before you get a perfect day in golf. I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
that's just bananas. Yeah,
I believe.
See, the difference is in bowling, you knock down every single pin, you got your 300, right?
Right.
In golf, you'll always be left with, damn, I could have made that putt.
Yeah.
I could have made that putt for eagle.
And even if you made it for environment. You're in a controlled environment for golf.
So there's always something in your mind that you could have done better. Like Tiger has these great things back in the past, but you're like, man, he saved himself from being in the rough. What if he wasn't in the rough? You know? So it's like that perfect game doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
It's just how well you played that day. And then if you're really playing the tournament, you're playing 4 days. Like they are today for the PGA Championship. So
True. So shout out to Mount Pleasant Golf Course, 5 minutes from my house. I have not played there yet. The gentleman who was there, he said that is what he said. That's unacceptable considering that this golf course, I didn't realize, what is it? Not Jack Nicklaus, but Arnold Palmer played there. It was back in the day for a championship. It was like 1956. Like it's a championship course. And when I stepped out there, I was like, ooh, this course is better than I thought it was because it's right. It's right here in Baltimore. But I'm like thinking, okay, but man, the greens, fairways, everything was immaculate. I was blown away. And that was only on the front 9. I didn't see what the back 9 was. So, but it was a pretty good day. I played with my son out there.
He can shoot?
The first time you ever been on a course.
Oh, all right.
And he had a good day. He had those moments just like anybody would the first time being on a course. It ain't like the range at all. It ain't different. It ain't like that. And
but he knows how to swing and everything.
Yeah. So he just had but he had a good day, man. He had fun. I enjoyed it.
Niggas had to tell me I had to pick up the ball. Like, all right, just go to the next one.
You had no Gucci flip-flops on, did you?
Nah. Just
oh man, that's what
shit. It was a par 5 and shit. Nigga, I was on like 9. Just pick up the shit. Just keep going. Right? Next one. And I think we played the back 18. That's what you say? Back 18?
Back 9.
Back 9. I'm sorry. You played back 9 and shit. And
we forgive you.
And I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I have a newfound respect for golf. That's a workout.
Hell yeah.
Cause like, and we wasn't.
Especially if you swing wrong.
We wasn't driving. We wasn't like we didn't have a cart. We was walking. We was walking that shit. So we doing that. I'm just like, damn. You just sitting here swinging and walking, but I'm like, damn. It felt like.
So imagine doing that with multiple surgeries on your backs, on your legs, hips, everything. That's
you got a rod in your leg. Yeah, you walking out there with a half a leg and everything else. Your footing is all messed up. All that.
I guess what was the rationale that said, you know what, on a professional level or even collegiate level, right? You cannot use a golf cart. Like what is that a disadvantage or is it an advantage?
It is. It's a stamina
advantage if you're using. Yeah,
it's a stamina thing. It's because you having to walk it and stuff like that. It's not easy because you're walking that. Yeah, walking as a spectator, and this goes back to when me and Dave saw Tiger play several years ago up in DC. Man, the heat alone, and we were walking, trying to get shade. Imagine you just out on the course, sun beaming, and now you having to concentrate on every hole. You know, your grip is all crazy. You got
put it this way.
Yeah.
If they can use a cart professionally, then I would bump up Tiger's chances of getting another major.
Right.
Hugely.
Absolutely.
Hugely. Because that's what wears on them, to be honest. Between that and the weather, that's what wears on them.
Yeah, you walking uphill.
Because also remember, I'm about to say, you're not walking no straight line. Your body's like this some of the times, like that type of pressure.
Yeah.
That ain't it.
It's
you at Top Golf and you swinging away having a good time. That thing is laid out there perfectly.
Yeah. Well, the closest I've been to the PGA was I worked a couple of them, just directing traffic. But that was it.
Fair enough.
A bunch of sedity white folks
there you go.
in Jersey.
Hey.
You got beef.
That's the come up.
You got beef with golf now? All right.
It just wasn't. I just like, man, it's just a different level of folks there, and I was like, man, fuck that shit.
So pretty much, you're not like us, then. You're not like us. It's the Hot Seat Podcast with your boy Sean Earl Davis. Oh man, we're not even late on this topic because we've let it simmer for a little bit, and we're gonna go right into it, man, because the last time we recorded, we was even doing a live reaction to the newest drop from Kendrick, man. So now we're in the fallout mode of it. The Kendrick versus Drake back and forth beef, whatever you want to call it, man. And the fallout of it. For those who, we're not just don't break it. It's not breaking news. Kendrick won this battle. Won this war probably,
Hands down.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely. Anybody who tell you otherwise, go argue with somebody else. But for about the last month or some change, they have completely captivated the hip hop community to a certain extent, those outside of hip hop. And you've seen this thing from campaign people using their music. I just saw they just had the election here, or the local elections in this case, and even our mayor here in Baltimore, Brandon Scott, came out to not like it. All right.
He came out to not like us, you said?
Yes, man. Yes. After they announced the win, it's a lot happening.
So who was the winner? Who won?
Brandon Scott. That's what I'm saying. That's when yeah. But I'll tell you this before we go into it. The biggest winner out of this whole thing was Sean Diddy Puffy Love Combs. The biggest winner, because we saw what happened. Yeah, ain't nobody talking. Yeah, exactly. Nobody's talking about him. And we were for a minute like, oh, they about to put Diddy under the jail. And even though, he was actually not referred to, if you really listened to the beef, and some things that came out of it, nobody was talking about him at all because we were all locked in on Kendrick and Drake, man.
You need to tell his son that he shouldn't have put out his daggone thing and would have been fine.
But then he's stupid because he freaking snitching on him. Yo, they ain't know we bought the house next door. All right, now cool. Shit, like you idiot.
It's man. It's I guess let's run it back because we all have agreement that that Kendrick easily won this. But what is your takeaway from this whole thing now that we've heard everything come out, the impact of it? You saw our reactions the night that he had dropped. I think he dropped Not Like Us that night. Was it Not Like Us he had dropped that night, or was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Not Like Us that night there. Then Drake came back and dropped his. I don't even remember. The Heart Part 6, which was disrespectful.
No, that wasn't even.
Yeah, the fact that he named it that. But what's you guys overall take from this beef, man?
That Drake should have just sat his simple ass down. I think he's very arrogant. That's another thing that it showed me, that he's very arrogant. And you got to learn that even with you being probably, I guess we could arguably say he's probably the most popular rap artist in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if he hasn't held that, at some point he was, but I can probably say he is right now.
Right.
So with that, it's easy for you not to have humility. And I think that he was humble. Like Pusha T was the first one that really got at him.
Yeah.
But the difference was Pusha T didn't have the backing and the celebrity and popularity that Kendrick did. And it's not even to say that Kendrick had that much more degree of popularity. He has his fans, but the thing is with Kendrick was, and when me and Dave talked about this shit extensively. Kendrick really played motherfucking chess here. And he used like different things and tactics against Drake. He just outwitted him, outsmarted him in so many different ways. Even something as simple as like that A minor chord, that A minor piece. I didn't realize that when they said A minor, that I think that piece was in A minor. And then if you when they was looking at it, and Sean, you could correct me because I know it's different variations of when you do chord.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I heard, there's no black keys in the A minor chord. So if you think about that, I'm like, yo, damn, that's crazy. Like that's deep. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, like, I just think, Kendrick really, all the old rappers and the people that love hip hop for the essence of it, we're now able to come back and say thank you, bro. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? And for the simple minded motherfucking people that asking, like they saying, oh, I need my disc records to have a vibe in it. He's like, I got you. For you simple motherfuckers, I'm trying not to say the N-word, but for you simple motherfuckers, they not like us. Go ahead, boom. There go your vibe in bar. So, I think Drake should have bowed out, yo. He should have bowed out. And now he's on to ready to come out with the summer bangers and shit. But he don't realize that, that Not Like Us shit is going into the summer. And then I heard word to the grapevine that these motherfuckers is coming out with a remix, a West Coast remix for that shit.
Oh, that's definitely happening.
Produced by, all the way West Coast, produced by, it's already produced by Mustard, but then I heard Dre supposed to be on that shit. They're supposed to do something with it. And then it's going to be Snoop, TDE, Game, and somebody else that was supposed to be on that West Coast mix. If that come out, it's curtains.
The Game will be interesting because he's over there trying to speak up for things on Drake's side to take care of Ross, so that would be kind of interesting. But I'll get to that in a second. So this was good for hip hop.
Absolutely.
Because I needed something like this to cause a buzz, because you know me, I listen to more old stuff than new stuff anyway. But with that being said, there's levels to it. They're two totally different rappers, and Kendrick let you know who he was, and this wasn't going to be no popularity contest. And I think people also saw, when you talk about backing Earl, that West Coast, they came together like they always do, and we're gonna back ours. We don't even care what he's talking about. Like, this is what it is, and it's strong, man. It's strong. Now, yes, he definitely played chess with it, but my thing is, for Drake's people, they just need to be smarter than this. You already lost off this same concept to Pusha T. The same exact concept, because you had too many skeletons in the closet that were easily accessible and ready to be used. So don't come out here as if you don't. And then when people start tugging at those different skeletons, now you're like, oh, wait a minute, but this is this and this is this. Because now, even after everything's done, now the mole has come out.
Right.
Yep.
And kind of put things on Front Street about, no, this is true, Drake. And this is this. And now you got a story running out there about the other thing that they were talking about. I don't want to promote that too much. So, but the other stuff that was going on. So now we start getting into the whole sponsorships and stuff, and your money. You know, this is much deeper than a beef now. And he kept on telling you, you don't want to go here. You don't want to go here. Okay. All right.
If you take it here, I'll take it further. And that's something you don't want to do.
Don't want to do. And that's the point where it's gotten to. You know, now it starts scaring me in a sense where you start seeing things happening at his house on physical levels and things like that. And that's where I don't want things to get to.
Which didn't have anything to do with
Kendrick. Right.
But I was about to say, let's don't spread that.
But what I want to say is, when you see that timing that is out there in the air, all you got to do is put the belief that this man is weak at this point. You see what I'm saying? So this is where I don't want things to go. I don't want the media to be able to drive that story, because once they drive that story, now it's back to, that thuggish music. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? That gangster music, that songs. This is what it is. This is what your kids are listening to. Remember, we're not too far removed where they were trying to pass legislation on the fact of rap music. Why do you think you even have parental advisory stickers and things like that? It all went through this whole government access. So while it's all good and hopefully fun and things like that, and we definitely know who won, that's where I don't want certain things to start getting to. So,
I agree, but that let me pose this. Is there anything that you can do in hip hop that will cause people to say, I'm not listening to that shit? Because it's now the way that hip hop has infiltrated. Like, remember when we was coming up, hip hop was just with a certain demographic, right? I'm even talking about within our culture. You know what I'm saying? With hip hop was only with a certain demographic, but then it funneled into white America, globally. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that there's nothing that hip hop can do that's going to make people say, you know what, cancel this shit. Like, I don't see it.
I agree, because money is made off of chaos. Believe it, it's made off of chaos, and dysfunction.
I mean, look at the NFL. Sorry to cut you off, Sean. Like, look at the NFL. Like, unfortunately, cats be dying. Ain't shit stop. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to say it like that. And I'm not.
But once again, if you're going off of my words, I never said cancel. I said it's the idea of that thing being out there. I don't care how it sells. I'm talking about how it's out there.
No,
the media can drive any type of story that they want to drive. It doesn't even have to be a hip hop type of thing. And then it's just a bad thing that comes back to those artists, that music, that thing like that. It's still going to sell, because drama sells.
We
look at it each and every day. But that doesn't mean you want to be known for that.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean you want to be tied to any type of investigations on that. That doesn't mean you want to these popular young artists to be up in court, and they're using their lyrics up against them in court as evidence. You don't want that. So
No,
this
I
is real
agree.
shit.
I'm talking about in terms of the culture. Like I'm like, it ain't
hip
nothing
hop ain't
that's
gonna
gonna do
die.
it's not gonna hurt the culture.
Yeah,
If anything,
I never said that.
Unfortunately, if anything, it's going to probably elevate it because, like, I mean,
hip hop ain't.
Like,
shit ain't.
I think what it does, the impact it's had, and even though the Not Like Us bit, in a moment of the beef was aimed at Drake, I think it was more so aimed at those who aren't. It was more of as a message to hip hop itself. You look at what they're calling hip hop right now, and you look at the lane that Drake has occupied. The early Drake was different. Remember, he was collabing with some of our favorite artists. But there came a point, I don't even know when it happened, where you realize that all of the music he aligned himself with was all these newer, very young artists. Whether it was drill rap, he's getting 21. All these guys are like early 20s and something like that. And then you started to see a dividing. I guess that's probably when the old head thing really started to pop up in hip hop, to where you had our favorite rap and hip hop, and then whatever this new stuff is. And then what you had is some people saying, well, let these young folks do their thing, because this is how we were. And that's not really true, because even what hip hop was before, there was still messages within that. There were still stories told, whether you were coming from the slums and stuff like that, but there was still stuff in that compared to now. There's very few artists who have done anything to be like this. The only message this shit here is to really just to destroy and burn down everything in your own hoods, your own people, all that. Like, it got really out of hand. And, some people may come and say, well, what about XYZ? You can go back and look at any artist from our age and generation. And really, yes, you had the Coke rap and stuff like that. But there was still, they grew along the years. None of these new artists, I don't see nothing that they're gonna grow into. They just throw them out there on stage, and it's a fly by night. Look at the female artist thing right now. Look how many of these new female artists have come out now. You had Nicki at one point, then you had what's the other one who came right after her? What's her name? Hispanic.
Oh, Cardi.
And then you had Megan, and then it was like a drop off. You just had people coming out and be like, I don't even understand the shit that's happening at this point. So I think the Not Like Us bit was, it was aimed at Drake and his things, but also I think at the people who ain't really adding shit to hip hop at all. And anybody who tell you they are is lie. Only thing they do is they're adding money to the pockets of people who don't really give a shit about hip hop, to be perfectly honest. So that's just my take on what it. And the overall thing is, for everybody who said, well, Kendrick Lamar's music is boring and stuff like that, and so forth. So he showed you with Not Like Us. You know what? I'm gonna give you the same message. I'm gonna put this shit behind a banging beat, because I know that's the only thing you motherfuckers gonna listen to, and then be like, oh, there we go. That's kind of like what they used to say about Nas for a long time. Nas, great artist, but he always had what you say, Dave. His production never lived up to the songs, and now, So right now, coming in on the Hot 100 for Billboard, Not Like Us is number 1. Euphoria is sitting at number 3. And Like That, which is the verse that was response to the first verse,
number 2.
That's sitting at number 6. That's been on the chart.
One of Drake's joints is up there too.
Yeah, he's at number 7. Family Matters. But the fact that 3 of the songs, three of the
let's just say 4 out of the beef are up there.
Yeah. So
that's pretty big.
And that song, to your point, Earl, is going to ring out through the summer. I really don't see Drake really doing anything over the summer, because I also believe, and it's been said as well, that the industry itself has gotten kind of tired of Drake and some of the shit.
It's getting tired.
Well, because you look at how this is playing out, it may get to the point now to where the collaborations that he does may just only end up being from these young artists.
Well, they already said that, and they was already saying like the collabs. This is why he is gravitating towards like these young guys, and it's great for these young folks because it puts them on. You know what I'm saying? But it only works it only works
a little
until
while.
they start saying, you know what, I don't fuck with him, and then it's like, all right, these young guys are gonna be looking at him like, nah, I'm actually good because your features aren't really holding any weight. But what it also does say, and I'm gonna give kudos to Joe Buttons with this. This fucking this beef showed you how many people really dislike him.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
It really showed you. And even when I was like, when they broke down Family Matters, and I was listening to, especially specifically the second verse, and I ain't gonna hold you, that was probably Drake's best diss out of that whole out of this whole battle. Like, he was spitting on that, whether he wrote it or not. Like, he was spitting. You know, but
there you go.
But if you think about it, that second verse, like, he was talking about multiple people. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Kendrick, he only focused on Drake.
That was it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was kind of like that. It also was like, you know, that also made me believe like what he was saying wasn't true. Because if you got to start spreading it out to other people, that means like, all right, then I don't have that much to say on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So for me to fill this shit out, I gotta talk about other people. So now you talking about the future of his shit, like, he's not getting. I mean, he has some of the greatest producers, but there's also producers that he already know he can't get a beat from. He can't get a beat from Pharrell. He's not gonna get a beat from Mustard. He ain't getting a beat from Ye. You know what I'm saying? Like, Metro Boomin is done. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's shit. I don't think Drake probably gonna fuck with him just for principality. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like Dave was saying, like, his camp was kind of stupid with this. Like, they ain't think about this shit.
They hey, you know what's so interesting about this whole thing, because we're going to talk about the additional fallout from this. Just the title, Not Like Us, talking about Drake. You take that all the way back to the BET cipher, and Kendrick, loosely quoting, I may have the words messed up, but he says, since Control, nothing's been the same since Control. You know, when I took the a sensitive rapper back into his pajama clothes. You know, it comes off the Control verse where Kendrick took, you know, we all know about that infamous verse. He called out everybody and he let them know that, you know, hey, I'm usually friends with all the cats that I rap with, but I'm trying to murder you cats on your own. And that is the essence of hip hop. When Drake responded back to that, he showed that he wasn't, call it what you want, of the hip hop culture. I mean, like, I don't
this new shit.
No, of hip hop. You go back then, because he responded in a way, it wasn't in a combative, like, it came in really like on some, oh shit, why you calling me out like this? Like, this is hip hop. You know, this is
Are
what
you talking about? Are you talking about the interview?
No. He actually in 2013 he dropped a song and he sent out a diss to Kendrick, and an interview too. Yeah, an interview as well, Dave. And I'm like, do you not realize this is what the essence of hip hop is? Like, you know, look at New York rappers. You got all the different boroughs, and cats was like, you know, they were cool at certain points, but you know, they was repping for their spots and stuff like that. But they all also understand this was what hip hop was. That line from Kendrick really got underneath Drake's skin, which resulted in that verse, which resulted in that interview, which lets you know this, like, yeah, I'm just here for everything good that comes from hip hop, but not being a part of what hip hop is. And it showed, as Kendrick, you know, so eloquently displayed throughout all these verses. Now, the other side is the fallout of this. Since then, we've had now, we always mentioned it, not even a beef, but a shot from damn, I blanked on his name all of a sudden, from Game, going at, you know, going at Rick Ross, which Rick Ross has responded with a bowl of cereal in a Louis Vuitton bowl. You got Soulja Boy and his I don't know what the hell's going on with him. Him going at Meek and going back and forth with 21 Savage and Metro. And then you got
Soulja Boy's been wanting to get at somebody for years.
Yeah, but he won't mess around, get his ass whooped. He stopped fucking around. King Combs going at 50 for what 50 said about Diddy. You even got Shaq going at Shannon.
Eminem too.
Yeah, man. You got Shaq going at Shannon. And the fallout part is now you're looking at what it's done for the charts. Like Cass is making bread off this, not like us being a number one. I feel like Cass gonna start beating. They figure this is their quickest way to get either notoriety or get a hit song. What you think?
Mm-hmm.
So a quick touch on those. So the Game and Rick Ross joint. I kind of called it when I said Rick Ross don't need to respond to him because I call it the Jay-Z method. You know, like, are you even on my level? Like, are we? I don't even see you on my plane. So, like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
So you're clout chasing at that point, and this is coming from a person that likes Game. I like Game. He messed up his lane. Like, imagine if he was still there with G Unit and all that, like just running with Dre and all that type of stuff. And that would have been. I love even the LAX album. If y'all heard that.
Like,
yeah. Like Game
is dope.
Spit, but on this joint right here, it felt like the reach because it was like, oh, you know what? Everybody else on, like you were just talking about, Sean. Let me throw this out there.
Yeah.
See if it sticks. And while I listened to the rhyme, and I was like, okay, this is cool. It wasn't to me. It was like, you know what it felt like to me. To be honest, I'm just gonna say it plainly. It felt like an intermission between the Drake and Kendrick beat. Like, okay, we waiting for the next thing to come out. So
our regular schedule programming.
Everybody use the bathroom. Everybody, we gonna play this music real quick.
Let's go out to the movies.
That's what it felt like to me.
But see,
and I knew Rick Ross was going to respond like that.
Is it? I get that part, or is it also something where, again, because Game can spit, there is no doubt about that. He is a hip hop head for sure.
Yes.
But part of that, I also think that this may be him doing the pot calling the kettle black, because let's be honest, Rick Ross has collabed a lot with Drake on some of his biggest songs, and then for you to kind of take that stance then was kind of like corny in a way, because it was like, well, shit, you've been since what, Maybach music or Austin was it Aston Martin music, and they've done like on all the DJ Khaled stuff and stuff like that. Like, you've been like in a lot of videos with Drake, man. And
but you don't believe people can have a fallout, because you could the same could be said for Kendrick. Like they were cool. You see what I'm saying? They had
though.
Doesn't matter.
Well, no,
you know what I'm saying?
Because like him and Ross has done something as recently as on Certified Lover Boy. So his album before last, Ross was on that with him. So I'm just saying, I'm just looking at both sides.
I mean, there definitely can be fallouts, but if we're just talking on a music level, it's two different genres. I mean, just me personally, like I definitely listen to Rick Ross more than I listen to Drake.
Yeah.
I got
me
you.
personally.
Yeah, I got you.
Like it's funny for me. I probably listen to Drake more than both of y'all probably combined. But
probably.
You know what I'm saying?
If you listen to him, then you listen to him.
But the crazy thing is, and that's really not saying a lot, because I'm not even really a Drake fan. Like, I like rapping Drake and I like feature Drake, because I feel like that's when he come. Cool. Yeah, that's when he come the hardest pause to me. I think his people would disagree with me, but I think his best album was that
So Far So Gone.
Nah, what's the white background with the word? Yeah, no. If you think you reading,
if you listen to, let me see.
If you listen to something like that, and the only reason why I like that junk is because I would say from track 1 to 8, it was no skips, and he was rapping on those.
Yeah.
When he starts singing, he loses me. I don't want to hear that man sing. You see what I'm saying? If you sing in your chorus, dog, I don't want to hear you singing in the verse. And even I think Pete Rock said it. Pete Rock said another thing which made hella sense. He was like, yo, this man came in here and talked to you like you was his child. Like, he did a Lux Calico situation. Like I'm gonna talk to you like you my little man, yo.
Yeah. And
you come back singing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you respond back with singing in your, like, this is not the time for that, buddy. This is not the time for that. Not the time for that.
Before we go into something else, so give me y'all quick take on this Shannon Sharp Shaq situation.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
We kind of alluded to this. Go back to one of our episodes when we said you're in the wrong lane, Shannon. I think he was totally off on this because I definitely don't see any type of jealousy coming from Shaq's way to Joker.
Right.
In fact, if you go back to when he said it, we're talking about the MVP for people that don't know the discussion. Talking about Joker getting the MVP, and on the same telecast, right at that point, Shaq had said it. He said, "Hey, congratulations, Joker, and everything." But I felt like this person should have won. I believe it was SGA, wasn't it?
Yep, SGA. Yep.
So soon as Joker came on, because they were interviewing him after the game, and he just had gotten the MVP award, Shaq said, "Hey, before that's out there and you hear from somebody else, I truthfully feel like SGA should have won the award, but congratulations to you on the award." And then everybody else starts running with it. This is why I was talking about that media-driven thing. Everybody else, all he was given was his take. Yeah. Do I have to?
I'll have to agree.
Back the fact that you're the MVP, but in no way, shape, or form have I ever seen Shaq give off the feeling or the energy that he's jealous of any of these big men that are playing. He just always tells you, he doesn't even think he's the best big man that ever played. That's number one. If you ask Shaq, he'll tell you he's not the best big man that ever played. He'll tell you that he's not even the best Laker. So I don't see where that jealousy comes in. Now, when we get to the fact of dominance, now you're going to have a discussion at that position. But that's it. So for someone like Shannon, who is in that similar type of realm, that's why I'm just thrown. Like, you're a Hall of Famer yourself, but there's easily better tight ends that have played in the game and still playing right now, like a Kelsey and things like that. Just because you give a take on them, now you're suddenly jealous of them or whatever it is. That's where I was like, it throws me off that he even took that way with it. So
I ain't gonna lie, like I've slowly been losing respect for Shannon Sharp. And at one point, Shannon to me was the guy who, when I seen him in other platforms, I was like, all right, he making a little bit of sense. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna hold you. And I'm sorry, y'all, pardon my words, but he's coming off very coonish to me. Like, he's coming off like he's starting to fall in that Stephen A. Smith realm.
He's got that bag.
But it's my thing is like, yo, y'all too old. And I'm gonna give y'all the fact of the matter that I'm gonna say that y'all are some smart brothers to not think before you speak, yo. Because even Stephen A. Smith has said some shit that I feel like, yo, either he letting his emotion or he knows that he's gonna get clickbait off of this. You know what I'm saying? And then he's had to walk a lot of this shit back. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like I think my straw was done with Shannon with that Amanda Seales shit. Like, I was like, yo, you're blatantly ignorant. But to get from, how do you get that Shaq was hating on this man when Shaq, the first thing Shaq said, yo, you're my favorite player. I think you're the best player. You're the best player in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? We love you. Boom, boom. Everything. It wasn't no bullshit. But yo, I ain't gonna hold you. I think SGA should have won. Yo, that's somebody that's kept it real with you.
I'd rather have that.
Yeah, that's somebody that kept it a buck with you. I'm not about to sit up here and kiss your ass. As much as I love you and I think you the best player, I ain't say SGA. I said you the best player in the league, but I don't think you produced what SGA has done. It wasn't no hate. Right. That wasn't no hate. Like, honestly, yo, Shannon, you was acting light skinned. Shannon, you were acting very corny. You were acting very corny. You know, you and like my man Jimmy said, you need your pussy, bro. Wipe the sand out your bitch ass pussy, bro.
That's crazy, man.
You acting like a bitch. So you too dark to be acting like that, bro. Like, you make us looking crazy out here. Nah, fuck that. I'm from the dark. I'm the dark skinned delegation, bro. Like, yo, you making us look crazy, bro. Walking around here with that fucking the part in your head coming out zesty shit out of the fucking
black car, community.
Man. Fuck out of here.
Would love to trade.
Shannon Sharp.
Oh man,
but Jason Williams, yo, fuck.
Which one? White chocolate?
Yeah, white chocolate. Yeah, hell yeah, white chocolate. Hell yeah.
I can't disagree, man. It was just a lot. I said this when we were talking about the Amanda Seals thing, and I said coming off of that Cat Williams interview, like, hey, that the numbers you start seeing those numbers.
Dave was right.
Yeah, I said, I hope
right.
we gave kudos to the show, but because then his most recent show, and it's not to bag on him. Now he had
Charles.
No, Kel from Keenan and Kel.
Oh yeah.
There, and then
the wife situation.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, it's in that lane now, because now even his wife or ex-wife has come out and saying that wasn't like it's stuff
totally
like
wrong.
Yeah. And now you're becoming it's turning into a TMZ type joint.
So going back to Dave, and I will give Dave some respect here, because he did say this like a couple episodes back when he was like, I think when Kat came out with that and we was talking about that, he was like, yo, he's gonna be chasing this shit. And I was like, I kind of beg to differ. I ain't think he was really gonna be like purposely chasing it, but I ain't gonna hold you. It is now looking like he's purposely chasing. And even to the point of like
stayed in that lane.
But even to the point of the people that he's getting on, and no disrespect to the people that he has on, but like respectfully, you got Gary Owens, right? You get Amanda Seals, you get Kels. These are people who are doing things, but it's like there's other people, if you're talking about in terms of like people that have a little bit more notoriety and doing more active things. Mm-hmm. Like, why would you pick them?
It's the message, man. It's the message
because they got the dirt, they got the tea.
But that's what I'm saying. So if somebody like Orlando Brown goes on there,
like somebody like that will fit his.
Absolutely.
So, and to today's point, and we gonna, and this is that's a perfect ending to this book. In this, should have stayed in the lane that you were, Drake. Going back to October's very own, but when he started going to, I could jump on the back of whatever is hot now, do that, and now it started going this way. Mm-hmm. And you have those who have stayed in the lane they've always been, say Kendrick, and then the audience or the world universe decide, okay, which one sounds better to us, and that's what you got.
And you know what, what you just said, that should be a message for especially young folks and just people in general. Yo, don't worry about what other people are doing. Stay the course. Stay in your lane. Even Drake said it when he first came in the game. I seen a clip where Lil Wayne was saying to him, like, yo, don't change who you are.
Keep it Canadian.
Like, just don't change who you are. Like, don't get no tats. Don't try to be a tough guy. Like, keep smiling. Be the single motherfucker that you are, and do that. And that's essentially, and I hate to go into it like this, but that's what I be telling like my students, like, yo, don't be a follower, bro. Like, even when Dave, when we was online, you know what I'm saying? My Dan, I know Rich and them said, like, yo, don't let that frat change who you are. It's a chapter in your book. Listen, you know what I'm saying?
I sat back and I'll keep it 100 with y'all. I had plenty of personal conversations with my own son, sitting back and going, well, hey, why are you doing this? Oh, well, so-and-so. No.
Right.
You're starting off that conversation. Well, so-and-so.
Right.
You're following. Don't be a follower.
What's that old adage?
Follow, you'll get in trouble for something that had nothing to do with you. You were just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Let's show our old age. What's that old adage? Your grandma or maybe your mom or your dad told her, hey, if such and such jumped off a bridge, you gonna jump off it too?
Jump off? Yeah, right.
That.
It's funny we talking about this because like when the days that I do take my son to school, we have a mantra that we say. I always get it out of order, but one of the things we say is, I'm like, you're a leader, you make good decisions, you think for yourself, but you're humble enough to follow. You know what I'm saying? And we had to break that down because it was like, yo, I'm not saying for you like that is a bad thing to follow, but I'm telling you that you're a leader. Every leader needs to know how to follow in order to lead. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But also understand too that whatever you do, whether it's right or wrong, you know what I'm saying? I respect you more and people are going to respect you more if that decision came from you and not influenced by somebody else.
And notice the words in there. Know how to follow, not
Yep.
a follower. There's a difference between the two.
Exactly.
Know how to follow.
Thanks. So I was right on the right path there. Okay.
This thing going. It's the Hot Tea Podcast with your boy Sean Earl Dave, episode 147. Roast beef. That's the title.
Welcome to Reach One, Teach One.
So look, we ain't gonna stick on this next topic too long, man, but we gotta talk about it because it was a crazy night for the GOAT, perceived GOAT in football, man. So I had the little as little roast,
roast beast,
man, little roast beast, man. The roast of Tom Brady, dubbed the greatest roast of all time, came out on Netflix, man. It was hosted by Kevin Hart, and it had everybody and their mom on there giving it to Tom Brady. And since then, Tom is he's actually been on a pivot, and he was saying that he enjoyed doing it, but he said the only thing that he didn't realize or he would take back is the way that it has affected his kids and his family, because there was some shit said in that roast, man, like you can't unsee it or unhear it, man. But what was your guys' take on it, man, on the roast, man?
Go ahead, Dave, because
So can we just enjoy comedy? Can we actually sit back and enjoy comedy? And the reason why I start off that way is because I don't think people realize what a roast is when they're commenting about a roast.
Right.
I hear people like, oh, this was horrible. Even on like ESPN and stuff like that, I'm seeing some of the analysts go, oh, I can't believe they were talking about this. A roast is no holds barred. There's no place that I can't go. That's the whole nature of a roast. It's uncut.
Right.
Yeah. Is it going to get personal? Yes. By the way, if you really watched the roast, it wasn't just a roast of Tom Brady. They're roasting everybody. Hell, they've had to edit the parts out about Kim, and she was in the audience. She wasn't even on stage.
Apparently, they booed the shit out of her.
Bruh, like when she came up to talk, oh, man. But that's what a roast is. Yeah. So when you sign up to get roasted, basically, you're signing up for all of that, because that's the whole part of the joke. Like, oh, you stepping out like we don't have no dirt on you, or and number two on it is you got to have enough stuff to roast, and he does.
Yeah.
If you're a boring character, like, and there's nothing to really joke about, like, why are you even up here?
He got a whole full meal, full meal.
So, him getting up there, you think we're not going to talk about your wife in a divorce? You think we're not going to talk about Robert Kraft? You think we're not going to talk about Bill Parcells? Like, we're going to talk about all this. You think we're not going to talk about
Deflategate?
Well, Deflategate. You think we're not going to talk about your wife signing up for the jiu-jitsu stuff, and now that's who she's with? Like, you think we're not going to touch on this stuff? Like, come on. You're asking a comedian not to be comedic. Yeah. That's what you're asking them not to do.
Yeah. I just don't know. And I've seen some of it, so I haven't seen all of it, but I know that because me and Dave talked about this on the box. I knew, and from what I heard, I'm like, oh, okay. But at the end of the day, like you were saying, Dave, like it's a roast. My whole thing is like, I don't want him to be mad about none of this shit because you agreed to do this. You signed up to do this shit. You knew who was going to be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And even guests that came that tried to roast and they ended up getting roasted. I don't want y'all being upset either, because especially too when this is not your lane, but you decided to step into this lane. Like,
and you gonna show up and you gonna get on stage and think we ain't gonna come on, man.
Are you serious? So
you're at a sporting event too.
Don't do that. So my whole thing is like, yo, don't get upset. Like, now the one thing that I saw that he recently said which he was like, he wish he would have thought about this because he didn't
that's what I was
look
about
at
to say.
He should have thought about it.
He should have thought about it because he didn't realize how it would affect other people around him, i.e., his children. I know he probably don't give a fuck about the wife, but like how his children was going to be affected. All right, but that's your fault because you made the choice. Think about it.
He seemed too disturbed. Like even when he was talking about it on the pivot, and I'll listen to the whole thing on there. He was just like that part. He said, "I wouldn't do it."
Was pivot that he was on?
He was. Yeah, I listened to it yesterday, and he was talking about it. So it's pretty much. He said, I didn't realize it. He said, I thought it was a good idea because you got to see even in that episode of the pivot, his you can see the personality of Tom Brady come out. Man, he was saying he was so much about from Michigan, then going to the Patriots. So you're talking about roughly 24, 25 years of his life. It was all about everybody else, the team stuff. So he actually said my actual natural personality never really came out until, other guys who talked about him even listened to him on the pod. I was like, yo, that's, you hear a different side of him, which I think this broadcasting thing is going to be dope. Good. Yeah. So he said, he really just said, he said, I like the idea of doing it. He said, I like to get, we do it in the locker room. He said, the only thing I wish, he said, if I had to think about it again, I wouldn't do it only because my kids. He didn't say shit again. He said shit about his wife, but everybody else's reaction to it, they overboard. Like, bro, y'all.
But once again, he should have thought about it.
Yeah,
you get what I mean? Like he should have thought. Even when he walked up there, and this is in the uncut version. I don't know what they've edited now. He walked up to Ross and was like, "Don't make that. Like, stop that shit about talking about Robert Kraft and the whole massage thing."
Yeah.
But once again. Once again, so I'm saying these things because he should have thought about that. Don't come in as the audience and now judging a roast when you don't even understand what a roast is. That's what they're supposed to do. It's like when people come in and you're at a comedy show, but you don't want to get joked on. Or you don't want the jokes to be about this and that. Oh, you could talk about this. Like Dave Chappelle always said, oh, so I could call this person a but I can't talk about this.
Right.
How ironic. It's a comedy show, people.
The only thing about these roasts, I need them to get back to the essence of like those roasts. Like those who like people who are quick with it. Like shit, for all intents and purposes, we roast each other all the time, if you want to call it that. Ours is not scripted or nothing like that. You see, it's a lot of these ones now, they're scripted. Hell, the Kim Kardashian part, that shit was scripted. Like they're reading from a teleprompter. Someone wrote that aspect of it. I'm like, so it doesn't come off.
For the comedians, they wrote that though. They wrote that,
yeah. But it's like nothing's better when you get roasted or you get joked on, something like that. When that shit comes off natural, it's like natural reactions. But when it's like you can clearly tell that they're reading it, but like, that don't hit the same. It may be funny what they saying, but you're like, nah, because there are certain things telling the joke, your mannerism stuff make it even more funnier. So that's the only thing I will say about roast in general, not about this one.
Yeah, go back if you think this is something new and people are sitting back like, oh my God, I can't believe this is on TV. Go back and watch Richard Pryor's roast.
Yeah, watch the Martha Stewart roast. That shit,
watch stuff like that when it's just uncut.
Yeah,
it's so uncut, and that's what a roast is. So once again, if you don't want to be roasted, that's fine. Don't sign up for it. But if you sign up for it, it's because they're going to talk about these obvious things.
I'll just say Kim Kardashian should not be on stage roasting nobody because I didn't even recognize who the fuck she was. Like, I'm looking, I'm like, I had to think back for a minute. I'm like, that ain't the girl from the Ray J video. No, she don't look, man, she looks.
I'll say this since we're talking about certain people that were there. The Ben Affleck thing was very much off. That part didn't go the way I think they wanted it to. It was very cringeworthy.
Yeah, you go too far to it. Yeah, I'm like, I'm confused. I'll say, man, look, the person gets, as always, man, like his laugh and his mannerisms. That's why I say keep it at that from Kevin Hart. That's just infectious. His way he's saying stuff, man, he starts laughing and it makes you laugh because it's just the way it comes out. Stuff like that is dope, man. Like that they couldn't have picked a better host. Funny as hell.
And since we're sitting back talking about beefs, tying into the Kevin Hart thing.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, he's running things once again, had the roast. And if you've been on Netflix lately, he accepted the Mark Twain Award and had his thing on Netflix, which I just watched. It was awesome.
Right.
And then Cat Williams came out with his stand-up.
Yeah.
I think it's Stay Woke. It's also on Netflix.
Woke people or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And both the Kevin Hart's things are 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And Cat Williams things is dropping. Cat Williams is best off his spontaneity.
Yeah.
That's why that whole thing with Shannon Sharp was so good.
Right.
I particularly did not like so much
his
last stand-up.
It wasn't as good as it.
It was too much going on the one thing. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be very hard for him to get back to that Pimp Chronicles. That is classic.
Yeah. Even the one, remember the impromptu? I guess it was an impromptu joint he did right around the time that it was during COVID, and that he was dressed up in kind of like the clown suit type thing or what it was. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. And he was talking about the time Trump or something like that. I don't know if you remember that video came out. That shit was like
that was probably another good.
Yeah. It wasn't even a show. It's just a video he had did. And that was like a master class in comedy. I think some of the stuff now is
I think he went too much on the woke side and the whole that's where it threw me off with that last stand-up. Yeah. And the thing is that I loved about the Shannon Sharp interview, just to say this, you got to see the intellect of Cat Williams more than even the jokes. You got to see the intellect of him. So I'm not saying it's the bash, but since we're in the whole beef mode and I know it's the whole Kevin Hart, Cat Williams thing, 1 and 2 over there on Netflix.
There's a video that Cat Williams did. He was out there playing golf. I think I sent it to y'all. He was talking. He described golf. I'm like, yo, this is the most perfect explanation from a dude. I'm like, damn, this is really what golf is and how it pertains to life. So it's dope. All I say is, man, look, this beef thing is gonna get out of control, and there's gonna be more people coming out of the woodworks. Shit, after this, me and Earl might be beefing if he go off screen one more time. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's the Hot Seat Podcast with the boy Shar, Earl, Dave, man. All right, man, let's get into some stuff that's really fun right now. We want to talk about the schedule, or we want to talk about some video game corner real quick? Let's go video game corner first, because I think that'll be the quickest of the two, and then we can talk about that part.
Sean, I'm a single father this week.
All right.
With Tupac.
What happened?
He said beef. I said I'm a single father this week.
Let's get some video game corner, man. Some video game corner, man. We have been waiting patiently. I said it on purpose. I said it on purpose.
Patiently.
It's not patiently. It's
I know.
You messed that up.
Okay. So finally, it is here, and they have dropped even though it got leaked, again, for all the people who like the leak shit, y'all get on my fucking nerves. Like, I have a beef with y'all, everybody, because I saw the leak of this cover art before it even came out. It's corny, but whatever, man. So they did drop the cover athletes for EA Sports College Football 25, man. And I am excited. I am excited, to say the least. We got Michigan cornerback. I can't say his last name. I don't know if it's Edwards or Ewers. How you say his name? Quinn?
Edwards.
Yeah, there. And then you got, of course, Travis Hunter from Colorado, quarterback, and then the two-way player from Colorado, and then their current quarterback for Texas. I forget his name off the top of my head. But what is so monumental about this is, remember, in previous years of college football, the cover athlete will be somebody who had graduated and now are playing in the NFL. Okay, that's before the whole rights thing came up, the NIL. But now these guys are active college football players. And now we have the game that will be dropping on July 19th. So we're just 2 months away. And with this, they also have dropped additional editions of. So what you're looking now is the standard edition of College Football 25. But they also have more, because it's EA Sports for you. They also have the deluxe edition for College Football 25 that has some of everybody in there. Edwards, and Hunter in that screen there. And then the big, massive MVP bundle, that being the Madden 25 Deluxe Edition and the College Football 25 Deluxe Edition.
And by the way, that's our running back. But
yeah, that is your cornerback. I said
running back.
Yeah. So you guys know we're not getting paid to do this. So the MVP bundle for this actually running at $149.99. So you're getting both Madden and College Football 25, which means that
that's good.
We are definitely exporting our college class into Madden.
Yep.
That's what I'm taking away from this. Then, of course, with the deluxe edition of college football coming in at $99.99, and then the standard edition running at $69.99. You can actually save money if you have EA Play. You can save up to $10 off of that. So, if at $149 is a lot, that's actually a good deal because you're getting both games for about $50. So
plus all the add-ons.
Plus all the add-ons, all that stuff though. So tell me, guys, give me feedback. What you got? Are we excited? July 19th. Oh, you get and if you get the EA Play, you actually get the deluxe edition. You actually play it 3 days earlier. So yeah. Yeah.
Both games.
So quick question. Does that mean that is Madden coming out earlier? Or you just saying when it drop, you get it?
It's not coming out early. You'll just have it, but you'll be able to play it earlier. So Madden will come out like August, probably August 20 something like that. So when it drop, but you'll have both. So you'll pre-install it, and when it's ready, it'll be there. By that time, you'll probably already have at least we'll probably have at least 2 seasons worth of draft classes, I would think, by the time Madden does drop. But so we should take now. Are we excited? Are we ready to rumble?
Well, I'm gonna be excited because like even how we're gonna play, it's probably gonna go like our season is gonna be longer when both games come out.
Yeah,
true. You play a college season,
you
import them, and then you play the NFL season,
the Madden season. Yeah,
I mean, because it'll be full circle. But I'm excited. I mean, maybe next year, hopefully that money goes up.
$600. Yeah,
$650 ain't shit. But you know what? To a lot of them guys who have NIL deals, I mean that's gas money. You know what I'm saying? So, but to the guys that don't have NIL deals, for them to get that $650 plus the game is, it's a help.
Yeah,
it's definitely a help. So
absolutely.
So I'm definitely excited. For those that I went to college with, they know, and most of the crew, we loved college football more than we liked Madden, just because it was faster pace. We got one person, shout out to Derek, that he used to play. He used to have the game set up to the actual minutes of a real game.
Yes.
And every game, and he would play, leave for class or leave for work, come back, the game would still be on. The screen was on pause. And he would come back. And I mean, it may take him 2 days to get through one game, but he would play every game, every season, build up the stats. So shout out to Derek on that. But college football was it. I'll tell you who was really happy that even though you brought them up real quick, Madden.
Yeah.
Because this is going to cause a buzz for them that they were losing. Because Madden was losing interest. I mean, hell, I got Madden right now and play it occasionally at the most.
Yeah.
So now that you're able to continue that story, like Earl was just saying, to pull it into Madden, I think the real winners is Madden, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the replayability on that is going to be crazy. And then also a couple of details I've been reading from off of the college football. So you won't have the same Kirk Herbstreit and whoever does the broadcast each time. So you would get certain broadcast like duos.
It said depending on the level.
Yeah, which is crazy dope. I love that because I can't listen to Charles Davis and what's the name so much on Madden every single game.
We got to hear Desmond Howard saying, what was he saying with the Penix? Oh my God!
I know what you're talking about, man.
It was a major pause. It was.
Oh
my God!
I know it because I remember that college game day joint, and I cannot remember. We said
because the mascot was out there. He was like,
he was.
It was.
I will find it sooner or later, man. I'm looking forward to this, man. This game. I hope there's not a bunch of bugs and glitches and stuff. There's gonna be updates, of course. That server is going to be crazy, especially for the online thing. So those are things we've come to expect.
I hope they. I mean, I understand maybe the first week or so, but I hope they get that shit together pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because with this being what was it, something 15 some years, if not more, that this has been out.
2013. Yeah, I think since 2013.
You know what I'm saying? Like the fans deserve to play this shit without a hitch.
Yeah, man.
Like we've been waiting.
Absolutely.
So then my next question is, does that mean basketball is working too?
I don't know if EA really trying to jump back into that. They couldn't get live right, so I don't know.
But you got 2K.
Oh, you mean on the 2K side? Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe 2K would jump into that, but they got to get the rights to them. So, but
yeah, because the game used to be called March Madness. That was the name of the game back in the day.
Yeah, so I don't know if they would do. If they do, that'll be great as well. But then they have to make sure that it's ready to go. It's ready to go. So we'll see how that's go. Either way, man, it's gonna be the summer gonna be hitting when that drop. Man, listen, it's gonna be the internet joints. So whoever you got as your cable provider, and I know they were talking about in certain companies they had like a cap on how much data you can use each month. Man, some people are gonna be going on that shit. Yeah, like some of them you can use no more than like 1 terabyte or something, like, which is a lot of data usage. And it's gonna be interesting.
I know females are gonna be mad because football season gonna start way earlier this year than it did last year.
The football season
start in July.
Yep,
starting in July.
Yep, it's gonna be a lot of upset folks at this point, man. I can't.
So I hope your relationship is tried and tested.
Hey, on a side note, that they were also, you could put this as part of Video Game Corner. They were talking about EA talking about rolling in commercials into their games.
Yes, yeah.
So they showed a thing of not so much EA in a sense, but imagine playing Call of Duty and you shoot the last person, then it rolls into a Whopper commercial. It's like, hold on.
They've already been doing ads and stuff. So it had little things that's in the games as ads. So they've been doing that for the longest time. And I feel like they've kind of taken that from how long we've been doing that? Grand Theft Auto has been doing that since Grand Theft Auto 4. They've had those in-game ads. So it can easily happen. Radio stations, all that stuff.
But you know what? It went. I'm just looking at it like, as long as they don't interrupt the play.
The gameplay, yeah.
But there's a way to do it, because when you call
the loading screens.
the loading screens, but also when you call timeouts and then in-game TV timeouts.
Yeah.
Because they have TV timeouts, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Or like a 2K or something. Yeah.
Yeah. When you in-game TV timeouts, it's like, and then you can take the advantage of people.
Imagine a fast food thing pops up and you can press the A button to order right then and there.
That's different.
Now we're getting ridiculous. Now we're not going to leave the house.
Now Earl really ain't leaving.
Now,
Go right into his Uber Eats account.
Or FanDuel.
Yeah.
Man. But
if they put betting on games.
Man, they've already doing it at Dave and Buster's. What I would love to see if they did it, how they do it today. If the first movie that drops a trailer within one of your games, and it can't be no longer than 90 seconds, but somebody drops a teaser trailer within one of your games. That coins, especially if it's on the Disney side, they own everything. So from the ABC stuff, something like that. So let's think if you get a new Marvel trailer or something like that drops within your 2K game, your NBA game or something like that. Bananas. Like it's getting that big, man. They're trying to find different ways.
How much would those ads cost?
It depends. It depends, man. Because the platform's gonna be like, hey, you're gonna have to pay us X amount of dollars based on how many people we have playing on the server. Something like that. So yeah, money's gonna be made. Trust and believe. They're gonna find ways. Man, look at us. We should. You know what? We should write some of this shit down. We might have to start doing that during the pod. Give us the money.
We just gave them some good ideas. Shit.
I'm gonna write this down. Podcast with your boy Sean Earl Dave, man. We're not out of here yet because the big announcement has dropped for us yesterday, and that was the NFL schedules. They dropped that junk. It was a whole production. Like the NFL don't know how to just like print some stuff out and just say, here you go. They had to do a whole special Sports Center, then on NFL Network, and it's out. It's ready to go. And let's get this thing going. And it wouldn't be a proper, Hot Seat podcast, discussion on NFL stuff if we didn't have some of our music behind us. So we'll have it if we can hear it. Do I hear it now? I don't know. Maybe it's happened. I can't hear it. If it's going?
No.
There it is. There we go. There we go. There we go. So NFL's 2024 schedule release has happened. And of course, me being a Commanders fan and then having Dave and Earl as Giants fans, we're going to be discussing our team in this case. So y'all want to jump on the Commanders side or the Giants side first?
You do your side.
Oh, fair enough. So we'll do this.
Go first.
We're both losers this year because we're both picking in the top 10. Shut your mouth. So of course, the schedule for the Washington Commanders this season, not a very tough schedule that I thought. My early prediction, just based off of the improvements on the team, though, should get this team at least 4 wins off of that. So I think we're probably looking at an 8-9 season, 9-8 if we're lucky.
I'm sorry. What you mean not a tough schedule? Motherfucker, y'all are going to be under 8 and 500.
I don't see that schedule's that tough.
Do you see who y'all got?
I see. Who's the tough game that I see out of that is going to be the 2 tough defenses that I see off of there, which going to be, 3? You got the Steelers, Baltimore, and Cleveland.
All right. Can I do this real quick? Like, I'm saying this unbiasedly. Let's just go down the weeks. I'm gonna go down each week.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, that's a toss-up, but I'm gonna edge it to Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants, you already know, that's a loss. The Bengals, that's a loss. Cardinals, I don't know, potentially. It depends on what they look like, but I'll give y'all that one. The Browns, that's a loss. Baltimore, that's a loss. Y'all will beat the Panthers. They don't even got no primetime games. So y'all should win.
Not at all.
Chicago, that's a loss. New York, again, that's a loss. Steelers, that's a loss. The Eagles, that's a loss. Cowboys, that's a loss. Titans, y'all got. Everybody wins and they bye. Saints, that's a loss. Eagles, that's a loss. Falcons, that's a loss. And you know what? I'll give y'all the last week because they probably won't even give a shit because they'll probably be in the playoffs. So I'm looking at about 3 or 4 games. Y'all are under 500 by now.
If we're under 500 again, I'll stick with my 8 and 9 in that case. And I'll say this is I'm doing this unbiased, meaning that I know that weaknesses from last year. I think they will split a game with the Giants this year. Because here's the thing, there's no tape on this new quarterback and stuff yet.
Don't have to be.
Okay. So coming off that though, I see them actually winning weeks 1 and 2, dropping that game and week 2 to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Hell no.
That's just me. The Cardinals game, I see them winning. So and then them losing to both Cleveland and Baltimore, winning at the Panthers. That Chicago game could be a toss-up. I see them losing to that second game of the Giants up in MetLife. Losing to the Steelers. That Eagles game, except for last year, which they actually almost lost. Last year, every year, the last 4 years, those games against the Eagles have been a toss-up. And actually, we've won more than lost these last, 3 years. So I think they win that game. They win that game. Yeah, they're a better team. They win that game against the Eagles. I think the Cowboys is not going to be as good as everybody think. I think they won them with them. I think they beat Tennessee. They beat New Orleans, and I think they'll lose that second Eagles game. And they probably will win that last Cowboys game because it could be one of those games to where the Cowboys may be in the playoffs and not playing for nothing. But I give them 8 wins. We may squeak out 9 in that case. That's just me. What you got, Dave?
So I think we could both agree that under 500, but
they potentially it just depends how things shake out. But
nah, you're right.
What you think? Dave?
For y'all's team?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think you're about right. I think around that 8 and 9 range.
Yeah. That they get more than that, I'll be happy.
Remember we had this conversation. I said around. Y'all said around 8, 9. I said around 4. I give y'all maybe 5.
Okay.
Jump right over to the Giants side. Giants schedule.
Let me. You want to start?
No, you got it.
There you go.
Because ain't no biases over here. We keep it 100.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
All right, Vikings. Yo, Blue is home or away?
Yo, guys. Yeah, Blue is home.
We're home for the Vikings game.
I'm gonna say that might be a toss up. But I'm leaning more so on the Vikings. Washington, we winning. Browns, that's a loss. Cowboys, that's a loss. Seahawks, I think we get that win. Bengals, that's a loss. Eagles, that's a loss. Because that Steelers game is away and their defense is good, and probably by this time Daniel Jones will be injured. That's a loss. Week 9, that's a win. Carolina, that's a win. In Germany, we're going to go into bye with a little bit of momentum. We potentially could squeeze out the Tampa Bay because somebody be injured by then. Cowboys is absolutely a loss. The Saints, we don't beat the Saints for whatever reason, so that's a loss. I'm going to say that barring any injuries, we will probably lose the 15th, especially because we beat them 2 years ago, so they owe us, and it's another home game, so that's a loss. The Falcons, you know what? As good as the Falcons on paper is, I think we're going to beat the Falcons. I think we're going to beat the Falcons. Kirk Cousins will not be there yet because he will not be there by this time. He will be injured. The Colts, we will win because Richardson will not be there as well. And then the Eagles, we might beat the Eagles only because, like, at that point, they'll be in the playoffs and they don't give a shit.
We pretty much agree on every single game. So I have the Giants at 7-10. You would have them at 8-9, Earl, going off of your breakdown. I have them at 7-10 because I do have them losing to. I have them losing that Atlanta game.
Got you.
The only way mine jumps up to 8-9 is if it's a scenario at the end of the season that the Eagles are already in the playoffs and it's a lock for the number 1 spot, and there's no movement in position. Then they'll sit their players, and then we'll be 8-9. But 7-10 realistically, where I have them.
Got you.
I'm same thing. I got 7 wins. I see 7 wins off of that because I think the when you guys go against those tough defenses is where it's going to be a problem. So I got them winning the Minnesota game because I think you guys will them having whoever starts, whether it's Sam Darnold or JJ McCarthy, I think they're gonna have a rough day.
So let me ask y'all this: what quarterback is gonna be the most productive this year?
Yeah, you just cut off this whole tape.
I'm sorry. I thought you was on. I'm sorry. My apologies. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Damn.
So
you saying something about what you said.
I said that. I say that the Minnesota game, you guys win that. I believe you guys split one with Washington. That's 2. I believe they win the Saints game 3. The Falcons
better bet on
4. Colts game 5. The Panthers game 6, and then one of those games probably that Tampa game 7. That's the games I see them winning. Not fairly easy, but not a lot of pushback.
We don't win games easily.
But the tough defenses, I think, is a problem. And I think if they do get 8, I think it'd be one of the ones you guys steal from the Cowboys, I believe. So I think that's where that goes. So either 7-10, likely, or 8-9.
So we all around the same.
Yeah,
same ballpark area.
Same thing, and that's only because of the quarterbacking situation. That's the only thing I see.
Now, if I actually think the upside of your quarterback is way better than the upside of ours, only because it's unknown with him. You don't know what he's going to do. So I would take that over what our current situation is. But going back to the question, I was saying, I know the answer, my answer, but who do y'all think will have the better season?
Between who?
So the two quarterbacks.
For who?
Between
Washington and Jaden Daniels.
Damn.
You'll have
Yeah.
I think
Now here's another question. If we're under 500, because this kind of goes back to the conversation we had a little bit earlier in the year.
Right.
If they're under 500, Daboll is fired.
I think so.
I'm not sure because I think it was a strong. I told y'all when we had this discussion offline that they need to have a strong offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the moves that they made in offseason, to be honest with you.
They actually had very good moves.
So, and part of those moves was the fact that you can see the backing is not behind Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if he was gone and they brought somebody in and they completely failed with that person that was coming in, they have no time to waste. But I think it matters how much under 500 we're talking.
Yeah,
if we're around what I'm talking about, I'm talking about like the 7 and 10. I'm speaking. It's what I thought they were going to do anyway, so I'm not disappointed. Now, if we're like 3 and you know what I mean? Like,
to be honest, I think if they're under 500 and how the offense looks, if the offense looks bad, like it's like you know the limitations of Daniel Jones. But if you continue to do those things that he's limited on, there's gonna be like, look, hey, you know that, and then if he gets hurt,
we ain't got time to waste. We got neighbors,
right?
There's no time to
so
waste.
That's one of those things. If you get to one of those situations, or those situations where all of a sudden you hear those rumblings like in the locker room, like, hey, I don't like neighbors or somebody like that. I don't like how they're using me, XYZ.
Right.
Then you're like, you know what? Maybe you ain't the guy. Even with Daniel Jones there, they'd be like, look. You're here too.
That's the rumbling.
Yeah.
That exactly what you just hit on, Sean. Yep. That's the rumbling that bring up the biggest question mark for coaching wise. Because the biggest thing coming out of last season, as far as our personnel, was the fact of certain people not liking certain people.
Mm-hmm.
And that was his big buzz, was the culture thing. And then we started hearing a couple. What
Daboll?
Wait, go back. You said who didn't like who?
What are you talking about?
No,
when the whole thing went down with Wink Martindale.
I'm about to say,
and they were talking about, well, his coaching was a certain type of way, and we're pushing this out.
I thought you was insinuating about Daboll. No, go ahead.
No. So then they put that question mark out there, like, oh, well, is he hard to coach with? Maybe personnel doesn't want to coach with him.
Right.
So that buzz thing will be out there, and then if you start getting rumbling from the locker room, especially with somebody like Neighbors, who was supposed to be our next, that's where, and it's that usage thing. It's that Stephon Diggs effect, and I'm hoping that doesn't pop up because it's like, hey, I want to be surrounded by somebody. That's the one thing that scared me before we picked them when he made that comment about, they'll get me right at the quarterback position. They'll get me right.
Well, wide receivers come with a percentage of deviations,
Mm-hmm.
We've
had them.
We've had them. Especially now, I think people need to expect it a little bit more now than ever because just these young cats is just different. Like it's not about earning; it's what I'm expected.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And which is crazy to me. But I will say that I agree with Dave. But I feel like I think the first person that goes is gonna be Daniel. And I think they give
Jones is gone.
Yeah, he come back after this season.
I think they give. I mean, well, it because the flip side of it is, what if Daniel Jones has a year like he did last year?
Well, that'll be a great trade value.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, so see, I don't know. I think that all of the coaches and personnel staff, I think all of them is like, nah, do hell or high water, we get him the fuck out of here. I think what is stopping them is Mara. Yeah. Mara loves Daniel Jones. Like
I can see that.
Mara is, and I love Mara. Don't get me wrong. Like I love Mara. Mara is the parent that they child is bad as shit, but they will continue to make excuses, even though they know good and well that motherfucker bad as shit. You know what I'm saying? you know, and I'm gonna be honest with you. It's like and no shade to Daniel Jones. Like, he had a couple of bad breaks and shit like that.
Literally.
But at the end of the day, like, I think people just need to be realistic and just say, like, yo, fam, like, he's not as good as people want him to be. You know what I'm saying?
You want to know what else? On the Daniel Jones side of things, let's say he did have a real good year, just off the cuff, and they decided to keep him. In that sense, he'll be fine because realize that 40 mark that he's at is going to be much lower than where these other people are about to come in at.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing on it. And
now
there's 2 more years after that.
Yeah,
I would still draft somebody though.
Here's the thing,
though. If he's staying through his you got to get somebody.
Here's the thing with that, Dave. If he has a good season and ends up throwing the Giants into that 11 to 15 pick mark. See, that's the part that you screwed it, because now it's like, man, he had, like, let's say he comes out, has a season that's reminiscent to what got him paid. And then now it's like, now the Giants are looking at they're looking at 10-7 or even at 9-8. They got the
Can I throw a caveat into that?
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley got him paid.
Yeah, that too.
That season, that wasn't him. He had a good year.
Turnovers.
Saquon got him paid.
He didn't have the turnovers.
Yeah.
But yeah,
this is kind of like this is the Kobe season when Shaq left for him. Like, now, granted, not to the point of like championships. I'm not saying it in that realm. I'm just saying, like, everybody knows that you were only hot because of the motherfucker that you had with you, which is Saquon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now motherfuckers want to see if you can do it without a Saquon.
And we have a weapon for you.
And we have a couple of weapons for you. So you can't say like, yo, they didn't have anybody. Like, no.
And he's still that other part of his contract though. There's an injury guarantee for the following year. So he can't get injured because then y'all are screwed because
we already screwed. We there's an L that we have to take automatically. It doesn't matter.
Now you got unnecessary money on the books is what I'm saying.
No, I get that. I mean, there's an L. It's a lose-lose for us. You know what I'm saying? It's always gonna be it's a lose-lose for us. But at the end of the day, he has a lot to prove, and it's not even more so like what he got to prove to the Giants. I think he just need to prove like his worth in his career.
Period. Or else
you know what I'm saying? Because his career is done. I don't think he sees another contract like this for the remainder of his career. No,
unless he somehow he has a Joe Flacco type, season he comes in, and then you just go right.
But don't be shocked if the way I see the cards falling. He has I'm gonna go on a limb and say this. I wish it didn't happen, but I'm gonna go on a limb and say this. Somehow, some way, Daniel Jones is gonna have a good year.
Listen here.
He's gonna use a multi. He's gonna use a multi.
He starts.
Well, he ain't got no. The competition for him to start is literally for him to lose because what's the name is not gonna take his spot unless he got injured. You know what I'm saying? Especially too with the people that they got in the that they brought in. Like it's his to lose. But what I will say is I'm gonna just say going on a limb and say he's gonna have a pretty good season, right? And maybe they probably go to the playoffs, right? The following season is going to be trash. It's going to be trash. Guarantee it. But by then, you know who'll be ready to come up? Who I know that if he's there, they're going to move mountains to try to get him. Who you think I'm referring to? Exactly.
Mandate.
Exactly.
How crazy would that? Oh my God!
Now it's not too outlandish.
Yeah, it's not outlandish. Not outlandish at all. Not
too outlandish
at all. Those conversations are probably already. You know what? Let's get out of here. The Hot Seat Podcast with your boy Sean Earl Dave, man. Before we get out of here, of course, this podcast wouldn't be what it is if we hadn't taken our Xbox Live conversation from the video game world and bring it over to the podcast space where you guys have come to enjoy it, all 147 episodes, which this is. So, of course, you can find me on Sanaa2X on Xbox Live. July 19th ain't that far away, folks. I'm going to go ahead and order. When I get off the pod, I'm going to go ahead and put this pre-order in right now to get this thing going and, and pre-installed. And it's going to be some fun times, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What you got, man?
Storyteller. That's all.
NJ Fatboy 973. Shout out to Dave. Because Dave has did a 180 in NBA 2K.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I've been kind of kicking up. and with the championships. And I ain't gonna hold you. Like I'm a realist. Like they was the bona fide champion last season, like the last version of NBA 2K. Like this. No, this version, because like we changed the season. Was it this version or was it last year?
This version.
This version.
Sound real old right now. Is that it? Oh,
nah, because we played so much, I don't remember. But I would say like this new season, this new league that we started, like I kind of been the top dog, but he's won 2 in a row. He actually stole my guy, so it's cool. It's cool. He got a couple of doubles. It's cool. So shout out to Dave. That shit is about to stop though. And then also final, shout out to my mother. Today is her birthday.
Happy birthday.
So shout out to Mom Dukes. You know what I'm saying? I'll be going down there tomorrow to celebrate her. Right now, she's in the place where most over 65-year-olds go in New Jersey.
Bingo.
So where do you go? Stay there. What's bigger than bingo in New Jersey?
Oh, Atlantic City.
Atlantic City. There you go.
Did she do a bus trip or did
she drive? Absolutely. She did a bus trip. She did a bus trip. Oh man. Yo, it's so crazy. It is so crazy because when you're a person of a certain age, especially women, and this was my grandmother, like before she passed, yo, and she had a specific casino that she only went to, and that was a Showboat. So Showboat was her shit. So she would go in there and she played certain games, and this is we wasn't of age, so you couldn't go on the floor.
Yeah, on the floor.
You know what I'm saying? So my mom, her and my aunt, they joined this little club out there in Willingboro, New Jersey, for retirees. Just to get out and do stuff. So this is one of their trips. Atlantic City. So hopefully she wins something because of their birthday. So
there you go.
I like it, man. Of course, man. You guys can get 20% off your merch, man, when you go to the HOTSEEDpodcast.com, when you become a supporter of the show with the Hot Seat Podcast Plus, and then you just visit the link in the show notes. Still on the Instacart, get free delivery on your order over $35. Shout out to whoever the Uber driver was on Mother's Day that stole our goddamn food. Because they still do that. Yeah, I don't even. Yeah. I hate it.
Did you get your money back?
Yeah, and then I had to go pick it up.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to creators of X-Men 97.
Yes.
My God.
Yo.
Hot take coming.
Yes, it is.
Quick question on that. Because I'm still watching. So I just finished episode 5.
The answer to your question is yes.
Yes.
What am I to say?
Just ask a question.
Gambit.
No, not Gambit.
Ask this question.
So the shit that I peeped, and I was like, yo, just the detail that I'm like, yo, who did this? I don't know if y'all peeped, but when it was, I think it was episode 5 or 4, they was showing something, and the guy was going through like the different TV shows, and I don't know if anybody saw like a different world got shouted out in there.
You have to go back and look.
I would have to go back to you said episode 5.
It might have been 5, but the guy was going through the TV shows or something like that. And they shouted out a different world.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah. And I said, oh, that's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard.
X-Men been woke forever. Yeah, shout out to Stan.
Facts. That's a fact. That part I do know. Yeah, Stan Lee is invited to the cookout. God rest his soul.
So So he can't come to the cookout then if he resting his soul.
No. The
Definitely
cookout.
don't want to be around anything hot. Let's keep it going.
It's the hot seat.